Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about art block, losing that craft mojo, losing that craft bug, and kind of what you can do to, a couple of tips and tricks of what you can do to help yourself. I'm also going to kind of segue into why I took a 8-month hiatus. So if you want to know a little bit about how I tackle art block, just keep watching. So this video is going to be a talk video. You're just going to see my face. So if you just want to listen, sit down, do some crafts, color, have a cup of coffee, whatever you do, and hopefully you like this video. Art block. So just as a note, I asked in 2009, I think, I asked for some Q&A questions and I got one. And that question was, what do you do when you have art block? Shout out to Karen E. Haley if she's still watching this. By the way, I was fangirling when you asked this question. I've been watching you. That you were one of the reasons. I had a lot of reasons why I started doing videos, but you were one of them. You were one of the people that actually taught me how to handle Copics. So shout out to you. I'm gonna link down below any of her kind of social media. I know that she's not very active. Art block. The way I look at art block, I look at it that it has kind of 3 different levels, 3 different parts how you deal with it, because you have to deal with it depending on where you are in life. So the first one, the easiest one, is just being bored or just not having the inspiration. You really don't have anything else in your life that can in any shape and form affect your creativity. You just don't have the creativity. And for that, there is so many things you can do. One of them is getting out and about. And I'm not talking about taking a walk so that you feel better. I'm talking about going out and actively looking at things. If you are in like a countryside, you can look at both at the walls on your house. Like, walls have wonderful texture. I am a architectural lover, so going and watching different houses is, I love it. But you can look at textures, you can look at colors, you can look at like the bark of the trees, the colors of the leaves, how the sun hits things, how the color changes depending on how the sun hits things. There's so many different things you can look at. If you're more in a city setting, there's still a lot to look at. You can, as I said, look at architecture, different houses. Like, I live in Stockholm, which means that I have the old city inside Stockholm, which is from the 1600s, I think, if it's not even older, and it has beautiful cobblestone roads. It's really old houses. It's just a beautiful little part of Stockholm. But I also love the newer architecture that exists in the rest of the town. So that's one thing I do. But you can also kind of look at people, not only for like coloring of people, but also for like how clothes fall, how shadows hits in clothing, textures of different materials, patterns. Clothing have so many different patterns, and maybe you get some inspiration from that. Other things you can do is shop your own stash, basically. So you might have this, like, I just got this stamp set, I really need to do something with this stamp set, and then you just don't get any inspiration. That's usually not because of the stamp set. It's usually because you're in a mind to work with something else. So you can just go through your stash, whether it be the materials you used, whether if you're a marker colorist, maybe try some watercolor, some pencil work, maybe that can make you more interested in the crafts. If you're a stamper, look at your stamp stash. How many different stamps do you have? Look at old stamps. I've been working with old stamps very much lately because they are now giving me that new inspiration. But I do have a bunch of new stuff that also comes in bit by bit. Look at inks, look at colors, try new color scheme. There's so many things that you can do to kind of try to wake up that inspiration. Then we have the second layer. And second layer is kind of time constraint. This is where the world outside is affecting your creativity in some way. In this case, a nice, easy way, like time constraints. I am lucky. I don't have that many time constraints on me. The only time constraint I have is that I have a full-time job. However, I do work from home. But I start early in the morning and end sometimes more than full-time, you know. And I work as a senior software developer and tech lead, so I have a lot of demands on me when I work, which means that when I get out of work, I'm often very tired and I don't really have that inspiration to craft. However, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of get that your inspiration flowing again. You might be one that you have a family, you have a full-time job, you have a family, you need to take care of the household, cooking dinners, doing all of those things, and in the end, when you at the end of the day, you're pretty tired. Maybe you have a couple of hours in the weekend that you have dedicated to craft, and every time you sit down you feel quite stumped on what to do, so it takes you like an hour to figure out what to do, and then you only have an hour to craft and you feel stressed about it, and maybe it's very hard to get that inspiration. And my tip is, you most likely have 5 minutes here or 5 minutes there. They're not long enough to sit down and craft in any shape and form, but they're long enough to maybe look through your stamp sets or look through your inks. So when you finally come to the end of the week, you have chosen your stamp set, you have chosen your color scheme, you have ideas of what you want to do. Maybe you take 5 minutes scrolling on blogs to look for sketches. I do a sketch challenge every Monday on my blog. It has been my favorite thing sketch challenge. They come up with a new one every week, and I've been doing it since mid-January, and I'm having a lot of fun. I'm also kind of evolving in how I make cards. I had a period when I made every card basically the same way, so I'm really happy to evolve as a card maker by doing those sketches. But that is also an inspiration. It's a way to kickstart my creation when I come into the weekend. I usually have a color scheme planned. I am able to take maybe a 10-minute break, or 10-minute break here, a 10-minute break there, go to the bathroom and then look a little bit around my stamp sets, figuring out which Copics am I going to use this week. I take 5 minutes here to just go through my stamps. Should I use a new stamp? Should I use an old stamp? All those things. So when I have the time to actually make creations, which can be in the evening or in the weekend, then I already have an idea. It's like this card. This little card I made when recording. I made this yesterday evening. So it's Saturday today. I don't know when this video comes up, but yeah, I made this one. This is a sketch challenge from my favorite things, and I've been thinking about it since Wednesday when they come out. I knew I wanted to use my new stamp, which was this one, because the sketch was perfect for it. And then I just put things in there and I made this stamp. This card. It was really fun. And then when I actually stood and made the card, I already had everything in my head, so I knew what to work with, which color scheme to work with, and yeah. So that is my tip for level number 2. Then we have the third level. The third level is when you actually have things in your life that are really affecting your inspiration. May that be very high stress or depression or other mental health issues, or actually health issues. And health issues can actually cause mental health issues, because when you go with pain for a long period of time, your brain will just be cognitively lower because you can't handle it. Believe me, I've been there. I have chronic health issues, so I know how that is, and the only way to get back your inspiration when that is happening is just deal with those things. I know it sounds really sad, but that is how it is. If you have high amount of stress, see if you can find a stress therapist that can give you tools to help deal with stress, because stress in your life will affect your health, and you should always take care of your health to have the energy to do everything that you want to do. Also, we have like mental health, make sure you get a therapist, psychologist, medication, whatever you need to treat your mental health issues. Seeking help is not, I say it, is not a weakness. It's actually a very big strength. You're strong enough to actually see that getting help can help you, and you can keep on being a part of your family, being a part of life, doing the things that you like, being able to have a good future. And you should really take care of yourself when it comes to that. You can also have health issues that can also affect your creativity. When it comes to that, again, you have to see if you can find doctors that can help you. It is a hassle. In whatever country you're in, it's usually pretty hard to get the help that you really need, but it will affect your mental health. But finding a way to deal with it, and also maybe have a therapist that can help you kind of figuring out how to accept some of the health issues if you have gotten some specific diagnosis, or just help you, might just help talking about it. If you deal with it, your inspiration will come back. I promise you. I've been there and I have mine back. And that kind of segues into why I've been on a 8-month hiatus. It was a planned hiatus for the first 1 or 2 months. That it continued was not planned. Let's talk about it. Most of you know that I had a hysterectomy in October. If you don't know, there is videos on this channel, but also on my vlog channel. I think it is on this channel, but it's guaranteed on my vlog channel. So if that is something you want to know about, there will be links in the description down below to my vlog channel, so you can find it there. My hysterectomy was pushed forward in 2020 due to the world. What was happening then, let's just say that, and it was postponed to the future. I didn't have a date. In June or July of 2020, I got a call from a recruiting firm saying, hey, we have a job for you that you would really love. And at that time I started to be a little bit discontent in the job that I was doing. So I said, okay, let me talk to these people. I did. I just felt this is probably the place I should be in, and I signed for it. After signing for it and knowing that my start date was the 2nd of November, I got a call from a doctor saying, hey, we have a time for you to have your operation. So someone else had denied this time and I was on the next on the list, so I got the possibility. That was 2 weeks before I was going to start the operation, and I chose to go with it. And yeah, so I got operated 2 weeks before I started my new job. I started at 6 hours a day for the first month, 7 hours a day at the second month, and then I worked full-time from the beginning of January of 2021. My surgery was a complete hysterectomy, and hormonal and like biologically that caused a depression, which I'm still dealing with. Mostly it is loss, I think. Feeling that I'm not able to have children. I go a lot more into it in a video. I don't want to have children, like logically don't want to have children, don't have the space for them, and my boyfriend doesn't want them either, so we have a we're pretty in agreement and our life is pretty good. But it caused that biological depression, and because I started a new job two weeks later, I really didn't deal with it. And then in end of February I got a promotion, which kind of made me needing to like learn a lot of new things and work really hard, and kind of I pushed and pushed and pushed, and at the same time I was making all of these craft videos. And I came to April and I had this massive migraine attack that lasts for well over a month. The last 3 weeks of it I had to be on sick leave because I didn't have the capacity anymore. And that was also when I stopped crafting, because it just didn't, I wasn't able to do it. I had a couple of videos coming out, but those were already recorded before this migraine attack really intensified. And then I had the depression, and I had like all of these things going on, and those 3 weeks actually were just over my 40th birthday. So I turned 40 in April of 2021, and being me, I always have some kind of, whenever I have a big birthday, I have a lifetime crisis. That's just how I work. And I sat down and I was thinking, like, what do I want to do with my future? Like, I have these big dreams, big things I want to do. I want to actually retire at 55, somewhere there, being able to retire at 55. Retire for me is not stop everything and just leisure around. It's having to not have a corporate job and more being able to like just craft or do my Etsy shop, because economically I cannot do neither of those as a full-time job. I don't have the money for it. It wouldn't be able to do it. So that is one of my dreams. Another one of my dreams is I want to have a house in Florida. I really like the atmosphere in Florida. I like the heat in Florida. Might not really like the politics, but that is a whole other story. I really want to have a house there. I really want to move there. I really want to just live that life. I want to travel, be able to travel every year at least, unless I move there, you know. So I have all of these like future plans, and sitting down and thinking about them, I really wanted to see what I could do. So with the depression, not really being inspired to craft anymore, but also I was very much like concentrated on like how could I make crafting my job. And right now, as it looks right now, and also how it have looked for the past few years, that is not a possibility. I maybe earn $5 a month from crafting right now, and that is through affiliate links only. So whenever anyone buy through my affiliate links, I will get a little bit of a kickback. It's usually somewhere between 2 and 6% of their full order, kind of depending on which company that you buy from. And I get a little bit of a kickback, so I get like a couple of dollars each month. I spend a lot more money on crafts. So right now I wouldn't be able to like quit my job and do YouTube, which is my dream and has been my dream since 2012. So this is not just a fad. It's not just like, you're gonna get over it. It's something I really want to do, but I also need to be able to pay my bills, pay the apartment, pay the stuff that I'm gonna make the videos with, all of those things. That is a dream, but I was depressed. I was looking at numbers, feeling they were just not there. I have a lot of other dreams when it comes to my Etsy shop. One of the things I wanted to do was to make a pattern fabric, and I have done that. It was fun. I do want to make more of them, but I didn't get the response I wanted, which is okay. Like I haven't done the social media marketing I need to do for the store, so of course nobody bought it, but it was a lot of fun to do it. I want to keep doing it, but yeah, it was so many things I wanted to do in my store, so I wanted to put the time into that, which I somewhat did and somewhat didn't, because my full-time job have taken up a lot of time. So I had all of this reason. I'm like, I'm gonna take a month or 2 off so that I can deal with the depression, so I can kind of look into like the fabric thing, look into what I really want to do with my store, how can I make it grow a little bit. I even stopped cross-stitching, just giving me more space to do this. So after 2 months, we're in basically July, and in July me and Christopher usually take some vacation. And for the past few years we actually have been traveling to his parents' summer place, and then we have been working a couple of weeks from there and then having a couple of weeks of vacation. We don't want to take like a month vacation in the summer because we want to take that in December, but we do have 5 weeks vacation each, So we are able to do that. I think I have 6 weeks actually. Yeah, I have 6 weeks vacation, paid vacation. So I can take a couple of them in the summer, and then I take rest in December. So we went there for July, which meant that I didn't make any crafts or anything, so I kind of kept on with the hiatus. However, in the last week, a thing happened. We're not going to go into what happened, but basically, if we make it easy, kind of what I was watched a thing happen that happened, a similar thing happened to me when I was a child, and this time it didn't happen to me, but it brought back a lot of memories and basically triggered my PTSD, and I went into a very, very deep depression. Like, everything was pitch black depression. Happily enough, I was able to talk with Christopher about it and kind of deal with it that way, and after about a week I was in a state where I could, after my vacation, go back to work. But the depression was deeper than what it was from my surgery. I was still very depressed, but I just pushed on because I needed to go back to work. I didn't want to take more vacation days because then I wouldn't be able to go to the States in December. So I just pushed on. I didn't deal with my depression. I didn't deal with anything. I'm like, okay, it's just gonna disappear. It's something that happened to me when I was a child. I don't have to deal with it, or I don't know how to deal with it. And I just never got back to crafting because I didn't have any inspiration, because I was depressed. That was just how it was. And as you see, I still get a little bit teary-eyed when talking about it, because it is PTSD and it is hard to deal with, and it's still every time I think about it, it's very, very fresh to me. PTSD isn't always you can deal with. It isn't always you can deal with it through therapy. So just know that it's hard. I have gotten better and better and better. Going to Florida was good in many ways. I didn't have pain for a full 3 weeks when we were there. I got to go to Disney, and going to Disney is like my happy place, so that helped a lot. I got to meet a friend, which was awesome. I really, really enjoyed meeting her and her children and her family. I got to go to my favorite thing store. That was awesome also. I didn't record anything inside because I was so scared about recording outside. But yeah, I got to do all of those things, and that helped me a lot to get back to where I wanted to be. I also went to a couple of craft stores in the US, and that was the first video uploaded here. It was a little bit haul. I think it's the first or the second video, a haul at least, with all of the stuff I bought in the US. So yeah, that is the past 8 months. I am back. In December, I lost my monetization, and that kind of just made things click, because it was no longer about money. It was just about crafting. That doesn't say that I definitely will turn on monetization as soon as I can, if I ever can again, but right now it's not about numbers. It's not about money. It's about sharing the crafts that I love, hoping that people will enjoy my videos, and it seems to. At least some people enjoy my videos and watch my videos. I do want to grow as a creator. I do want to have more views, because more views makes it possible to maybe work with companies, the companies that I love creating with. Maybe I can work with them in the future. All of those things, all of those things. I have my inspiration back because I finally dealt with a lot of my depressions, a lot of my health issues. The operation is more of a sorrow now than a depression. My migraine medication is actually working. I have a wonderful job with wonderful colleagues that I really, really love. So going to work, or opening my computer in the morning to start working, is awesome. I'm allowed to work remotely full-time for this job, which I love. I am going to go in and visit my colleagues. Like, my job is half an hour away, but I choose to work from home because I do a lot better job here. but I still have connection with my co-workers. I sit in a call most days, all day, working together on the same code, talking to each other and making things good. And I really enjoy that. It makes me happy, and it makes it possible for me to, when the day is over, actually craft or edit a video, edit some photos or anything. I really enjoy that, and I'm a much happier person, and I hope that shows in my creations. I took some decisions when it comes to my channel. One is I'm bringing back the hauls. I love showing people what I'm buying. I have found a purpose for my hauls. It's not just showing people, but also linking to a page where I then show everything I do with those supplies, so that if you see my haul, you can always click on that page and you can always go to my blog and see all the creations that I'm doing, whether you see the video when it comes up or if you actually find it a couple of months later and want to see it and like, oh, you can find all of the projects there. That, I think, is a fun way of doing hauls. I do art journals, little mini art journals. I do boxes because boxes is something I love making, and I'm not worried about if I have less views on them than I have on my card making, because I love making boxes, and that is what's gonna be a part of my channel. I know that making cards and making boxes and having hauls and having videos where I talk might be too wide of a scope, but I don't care right now. I want to make what makes me happy, and it is working. This video is going to be very long, I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you're still with me and you have listened to my rambles. If you have done that, please thumbs this video up if you liked it. Please comment down below, how do you deal with art block, inspiration block, craft block, missing you, craft mojo, whatever, something. They have all good names. How do you deal with it? Do you deal with it? Have you struggled with it? Maybe some of these tips can help you to come back to crafting if you have been missing it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.